Hey, what's up? There's a lot going on out here in the world right now. There are a lot of lessons and opportunities for spontaneous creation. What we see out there in the world isn't always what it seems to be, and it takes a discerning eye to see what's really there, rather than just believing what everybody says something is and acting as if it is truly so. I see a lot of folks out there doing energy work, using light language, channeling, and releasing entities and genetic traumas, all that good stuff. There seems to be a common understanding among some that the entire world and everybody in it is going to ascend, and all is going to be light and love. Well, I guess I'm a bit more traditional in that I think that there are a few more requirements. Forgive my observations if they seem off point. I've only been exploring the current iteration of the energy work field and the New Age Ascension movement for the past year or so. I friended quite a few people and followed pages and joined groups, and it's all been very interesting. My own history of energy and deep spiritual work goes back a couple of decades as a conscious practice, but it goes back a lifetime as far as my awareness and calling are concerned. I don't know exactly what I am, but I know that there are blessings that I have been gifted with, such as discernment. I can see people truly, and I have insight into the human condition. Also, when I try, I can see the fields, auras of people, and I can help them in order to understand what's going on with them when it's often obscured. I've had strange synchronistic experiences in the mundane world. I've had 3 major Kensho events at key stages of my life. I can access the Akashic directly. I have exorcised demons and cleared entities, and I can also consciously cultivate OOBEs, which is astral traveling, and that leads to engagement with non-physical entities, among other potential abilities that have appeared once or twice in my life, like remote viewing and telepathy a few times, but it's not enough for me to claim deliberate activation. Even with all of this experience, a lot of it are things that I don't do purposefully now. I haven't done conscious energy work since 2012, and I've never really written about the things that have happened to me in the last decade. So what I'm talking about right now is something of an exploration of conscious intent for me. Back then, in the day, in 2012, I was called to work in planetary and galactic fields while I was living in Quebec, Canada. I worked also as an energy healer at the time with my then partner and forever twin flame, Soraya Mai. I did some astral warrior work, defending the planet with small cells of similarly called souls, which was cool and strange. Returning to the States required an absolute hard grounding, and I've been working in nature and with communities ever since. I worked at the Creation Springs in San Marcos, Texas, where I was able to work with people in the region in education and politics, and it has been an enlightening experience. Something that I've witnessed that's been quite concerning is the preponderance of people who do energy work who really have no business helping anyone other than themselves first. Just because you say you're of the light and you've taken some hallucinogens or ingested plant teachers who've shown you that there was indeed more to reality than that which we can generally see, hear, or touch, it doesn't necessarily mean that all of a sudden you are enlightened. It takes more than you saying so to yourself and others. It takes more than an artificial or chemically enhanced experience of reality to obtain true knowing. It requires something more, something deeper, something that shifts your nature intrinsically and releases you from psychological bindings that have kept you from being fully yourself, that have kept you entranced for much of this lifetime. Using these methods in order to experience the supernal seems to bias practitioners toward a more materialistic and atheistic view of reality that might truly be reflective of our shared greater reality. Overactive imaginations won't do it either. Being able to creatively visualize what you call energy doesn't mean you can actually see the energetic output of other souls. If you haven't first been able to achieve stillness within yourself, it is possible that your envisioning is really wishful thinking and imagination. To be able to see the energetic output of others, truly the you that is you has to get out of the way. You have to be able to cultivate absolute stillness of your own thought processes. And those able to accomplish that difficult feat have a palpable energetic signature that is not apparent in many who have claimed the mantle of energy healer online. It's just the reality. The traditional religious systems that so many decry have it right, that there is a particular type of morality that goes with high spiritual attainment. It's not because people want you to be nice or society's created these arbitrary rules of behavior. You have to understand that calm, peaceful energy is a state of high resonance. Your body literally vibrates at a higher frequency when you are attuned to your surroundings, which is life in general and your environment specifically. The high resonation of the truly spiritually attuned is apparent in their reactions, in their choice of words, in their expression of emotion or lack thereof. It is apparent in their empathy for the human condition, for their understanding of human nature, and their spontaneous knowing about intimate, personal, and multiversal truths that most have no inkling about. It is physically measurable. It is easy to be taken in by slick videos and flawless presentations sometimes when you're searching for something and you have no idea what it should look like. When it looks like ads and marketing, you should beware. If the person you seek to learn or seek assistance from just studies Reels, YT, and TikTok videos, when it comes to understanding the deeper aspects of human nature and the spirit, it becomes apparent quickly. The book knowledge is the easiest part, although it takes the longest to cultivate. Many folks out there right now don't even have that. They've just watched some videos and are parroting what they've seen others say or do, it seems. They haven't put in the study, the time, and the years that some have, and so seem to be achieving successes beyond their real knowledge. To those who've been spending decades working the energy, reading the cards, throwing the bones and shells, something feels very wrong about that. The intuitive side of things is natural for many, but again, the ego self has to be discernibly controlled, and that deeper gamma wave perception should be readily apparent. We do live in a time when more volunteers, indigos, crystals, starseeds, and so many others have incarnated on the planet. And so there seems to be an overwhelming number of young, beautiful, advanced souls living lives that the elder generations have only dreamed of. Envy is ugly and affects the spirit, and certainly by here is some intergenerational jealousy being displayed when accusations of spiritual fraud are leveled haphazardly against entire generations. By all means, everybody should get in where they fit in. My purpose in sharing this is primarily to say that, as with any movement of energy, there's always a lot of dissipation and fizzling out around the margins. In any religious, social, or political system, the hucksters and confolk often seem more real than those who can actually do what they say they can do. Just be careful out there, okay? Seek out the ones with knowledge, sure, but also make sure they feel right to you. Look past the fancy presentations to see who they are to the people around them. Read their posts, follow their conversations, look for signs of psychological imbalance. We are all still human, no matter our supposed spiritual elevation. So you're not looking for perfection. Just someone you can relate to who is truly seeking to help others and not just themselves. The idea of equal value exchange isn't one I see people talking about these days, but it is still important. If you are going to pay for services, make sure that it's worth it. Whatever you're willing to pay is what the service is worth, and if the practitioner has set prices that are far beyond your ability to afford them, well, then that tells you something important right there. It tells you that you are not their target clientele, and that they have a target clientele. Energy workers who are in it to truly help people will work something out with you. Equal value exchange can mean a trade of services or some other form of currency besides legal tender. Their goal should be to assist whoever enters their sphere if they are at all able to. Thanks for listening, y'all. Peace.